What up, guys? Team Blind MST here with John's meta build.
Hey guys, this is my kind of finalized Shaddoll build. This is at least pretty much the main deck I'm gonna be sticking with. The side deck is kind of tailored to my locals, but I'll get into that. I've played every build of this deck. I've played it with Light Sworns. I've played it with Light Sworns, Artifacts, the Mathematician dumps, the Cephalon build. I've played it with like a few of my own builds. I've played it mixed with other archetypes. I've played it mixed with Gravekeepers just to see if I could get that to work.
Played it with that Flame Tiger.
Yeah, played with the Flame Tiger. But I feel like this is the one I'm going to stick with because this build in particular gets over a lot of the issues that Shaddolls have. And especially Game 2, this is by far the strongest main deck Game 2. So I'm just going to go right into it. Here are the three Shaddoll Fusions. Until we get El Shaddoll Fusion, there's absolutely no reason not to run three of these unless you're main decking more than one Super Poly.
You play Super Poly in the main?
I do not. I side two of them, but that's just because I'd probably side three of them if we went to a regional, but like I said, the side deck's kind of tailored to my locals a little bit, and Super Poly's not that amazing against everything there. But when I side in the two Super Polys, I always side out one of the Fusions. Because you really... This is a weird card where... I don't know, like for a lot of people that play against the deck, you're going to find out that DD Crow is actually really good against Shaddolls only because you can banish this card. Because this is a card that I never really want more than one of in my hand, but I need to get to it as fast as possible. So that's why I run the three Fusions. Because once I get to the first Fusion, I literally just... I always just recycle it, and I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But I run the three Fusions, and then I run a Book of Moon, a Foolish Burial, and an Allure. I hate Soul Charge in this deck. I don't like Soul Charge in most meta decks right now. The only deck that I feel it should be ran in is Shaddoll Knights, and that's just because it gains so much advantage off of it. But, I mean, even then, it's not that good against Shaddolls. Like, you have to OTK this deck, people. Like, people would put... Someone put two Felgrands, a Draco Sack, and a Stardust Spark on board against me, and I just sat there for a second. I was like, alright, it's going to take me 2 turns to get over this, but I'm not going to lose by any stretch of the imagination. So, I don't like Soul Charge in this deck. Main deck MSTs, well, I'll get to those in a second. When I get to the rest. Actually, I'll just throw that down right now. I run the Artifact engine. I run the 3 Moralltach, the 1 Beagalltach, 2 Ignitions. I side the 3rd Ignition, and I side 3 MSTs, and then 3 Sanctums. For the longest time, I thought that this was a very cloggy, inconsistent version of Shaddolls. And the way a lot of people run it, it kind of is. But this right here is almost never dead. It helps you get over all the floodgates. It helps you deal with things that are going to attack over Midrash. Like, this is just, it's much more reactive. It adds a lot of, it adds more meat to the deck. Because the problem I found with Shaddolls is that they gave you an archetype that you literally have to run light monsters unless you're running triple core, which would be terrible. But you have to run light monsters, and none of them are light. So you have to supplement them with something. And all of the other light engines, you really sacrifice in the back row. So this really helps you kind of add some of that reactivity on your opponent's turn. And normally Moralltach's completely fucking dead a lot of times, and that's why I really don't like splashing the artifacts and things. But this is one example of a deck that the artifacts just absolutely shine in. And that's because of this card right here. The triple Shadow, Sinister Shadow games. This card is gross. There's so many just disgusting plays you can make with this deck. I've never been sad about opening more than one of these. You can activate more than one a turn. I mean, it's just, at worst, it's a Foolish Burial. It's chainable, so when people go to blind MSTU, they just get punished for it. When just blind destruction is just super punishing. It'll be even more disgusting when we get Hound and I can stop your monsters from attacking with Midrash, but basically, if I open just completely brick with the artifacts, if I have one of these, it's fine because I can set Moralltach, activate this, pitch a dragon, and then it's almost like a Sanctum. Like, so I'm basically running 6 Sanctums, and it's just absolutely disgusting. And that's not even the best play that this card inhibits, but, gives you, so I'll get to that in a second. Then I run the triple Vanity's Emptiness. This card's absolutely disgusting. I've always loved this card. I mean, very rarely do I ever go to a regional and I'm not... all three of these aren't in either my main or my side in some combination. It's very good in this deck. It's amazing against Shaddoll Knights. It's amazing against Dante. It's just amazing in general. Not so good in the mirror, but I usually side those out. And then my one-ups, I won 1 Core, 1 Compulsory, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Solemn Warning. I wish I had room to run 2 of these, but it'd be terrible at 2. You have to run 1. Some people don't run 1. I don't know if anybody who has topped not running 1. Like, this card's just too... It's too good to just be able to make Neph off of a Shaddoll Fusion and then literally just send this to the graveyard with her effect and just add the fusion back and just have infinite, just a free beat stick on board and plus off of whatever else you send. And I don't run Torrential because Torrential's really bad in this deck. It just...
Bad right now.
Yeah, it's bad in general. I wasn't running the Bottomless, and then I realized I wasn't running the Bottomless, and I thought that was kind of stupid. And
Bottomless isn't even that...
Bottomless, yeah. Bottomless, honestly, Bottomless and Warning aren't phenomenal right now. I could easily see them being cut for something more reactive, something that, like a Karma Cut or something that would let me, I don't know, just even breakthrough skills. But for right now, those are in there. They have not disappointed me. And then onto the monsters.
Dude summoned Murmelio and searched Bottomless, and I was like, okay, make Dante? The fuck? You give a fuck about Bottomless?
I run Triple Dragon. I think you absolutely have to run Triple Dragon. Besides I mean, this is the best one. Like, obviously, Hedgehog searches everything else in the deck, but, like, in itself, this is the best one. You can bounce any monster that you really have a problem with dealing with. You send it to just MST, like, just pop your opponent's back row and just gain advantage. It gets over Vanity's Emptiness like crazy. It's amazing. I wouldn't run it any less than 3. And then I run the Triple Hedgehog, if I can find them. Run the Triple Hedgehog because you send this, you search for whichever one you don't have. Typically, at the beginning of the game, I try to get a dragon, a lizard, and a beast in the graveyard as fast as possible because that opens up all the possibilities for Falcon plays. And I only run 2 Falcons. 3 is just a bit cloggy.
Falco?
It's amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. 3 is kind of dead sometimes. And then I run 2 lizards.
Squamata?
If I was to up anything in this deck to 3... right, like main deck monster count, it would be this because it's always good to just pad your grave with extra monsters, even for just banish fodder. For like, as you'll see, I run a BLS, so it's really good. And then 2 beasts. A lot of people run 3. I don't really like that because I feel like when people are running 3 beasts, they're always sending beast from the deck or like from their hand as the material for Shaddoll Fusion. I know to a lot of people it's like, oh well, you're drawing a card. Like, yes, but I would rather disrupt my opponent's play, destroy one of their cards, put a Falcon on board to set up for next turn, or pitch Hedgehog and pick which card from my deck I'm adding to my hand 9 out of 10 times. I really only want to get one of these in the grave, and that's it. So, I only run 2 of these. And then for the non-Shaddoll monsters, I run 2 Armageddon Knights and a BLS. Armageddon Knight over Mathematician. I don't have room to run the 3 Mathematicians and a Fleece. I wouldn't want to run 2 Mathematicians and a Fleece because every time I fucking run Fleece, I always open with it. I know that's just bad luck, but I don't like building my decks to the point where, I could open absolutely broken. I usually side out all my 1-of, so like to me, I would just rather have the more consistent one. I also like Armageddon Knight a little bit better because my level 6 Synchro plays are stronger than my level 5 Synchro plays, and I can use Armageddon Knight to overlay for level 4, whereas there's no way in hell I'm running any rank 3s. So I really like Armageddon Knight. Maybe once the Earth Fusion comes out, I'll probably switch to the Mathematician. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both great, but I just like Armageddon Knight better. That's just personal preference right now. And then the 1 BLS card's absolutely disgusting. If you resolve it, you almost always win. That's the other thing. I play BLS and Shaddolls a lot like you play BLS and Goat Control. You don't drop it unless you're going for game. I mean, in the mirror match, it's a little bit different, and because you just sometimes need to just banish a Midrash or whatever. But absolutely disgusting card. Would not cut it for anything. That's it for the main deck. Real quick, I just want to kind of throw out because my view on this deck has changed a lot since I've been playing it more and more. And oftentimes, the best thing you can a really disgusting opening play is just setting a Falcon in a Shadow Games. And then you can because you send a Shaddoll card, and then you change the face up. If you have a Falcon face down, and it's your opponent's end phase because they don't want to attack into it and get the effect or whatever, a lot of times people are scared to just blindly start attacking into your Shaddolls. I don't know why. Either way, you're getting the effect up, but they do. So you just activate Sinister Shadow Games in their end phase. You can send Beast, or Lizard, or Dragon, whichever one you want. Whatever you need to deal with. And then you'll flip Falcon up, and you can special summon that one you just sent. So, a lot of times what I'll do is if it's just my opponent's end phase, just for free advantage, you send Beast, draw a card, Beast summons himself, your turn comes, you draw another card, then you flip Beast, draw 2 more cards, and then discard a card. That's more advantage than I feel you should be allowed to gain in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like just the fact that you can send the card, then flip the Falco, just sets up so many plays for this card. It's ridiculous. But on to the extra deck. Right now for Shaddolls in the extra deck, I'm running 2 Windas and 3 Nephilims. The people that are running 3 Windas, they're running it's purely a playstyle preference. I don't like just dropping a first. If I go first, I don't like just dropping Winda. I feel like there's a lot of lost advantage there, and I feel like my opponent's not going to beat me on their first turn because they can't fucking attack me. So I honestly don't care if they go off. I can usually get over their established board. Like I said, I got over two Felgrans, a Draco Sack, and a Stardust Spark, and a Leo that game in a matter of 2 turns. Like, I'm not really concerned of getting over established boards. What I'm concerned about is not gaining as much advantage as possible out of the cards I have. So I'll spam the shit out of Construct. Like, that's fine. Put Construct down. I get to send 2 to the grave. I get to cost off the materials. I can send dead Moralltachs, or usually a Beagalltach. I've even sent BLS before, just to, like, so I don't have those dead draws. And like, just plus more. They have to exhaust a lot of resources getting over Construct. I get the fusion back one way or another. Like, it's not a big deal. So I don't like running 3 Winda right now. I would definitely never run more than a combination of 5 of these. So if I put in a Winda, I'm definitely taking out a Construct. Once the Earth Fusion comes out, I'm definitely running 2 of each of these and 1 of the Earth Fusion. But that's pretty far in the future. So
how about that Fire Fusion?
The Fire Fusion I'll probably run at 1 too. I'll probably run all of them at 1, unless it's just complete ass. I mean, I guess it also depends on the meta. For Synchros, I run 1 Armageddon, 1 Goyo, an Arcanite Magician, Archmichael, and a Leo.
No Black Rose?
No Black Rose. I run. This changes a lot based on, like, the Synchro portion of this deck is the only part in the extra deck that really changes, and it changes a ton based on what I am running in the main deck. If I'm running the Felice engine, this is completely different, because the only way you can afford to run this card is if you run the artifacts, because you need the non-tuner to be light. So, like, the only way you're really going into Archmichael is with an artifact and a Falco. This card's absolutely disgusting in the mirror, because you just banish a Midrash like it's nothing. Arcanite Magicians, obviously. The other thing is, every time I would Black Rose, Arcanite Magician is almost equally an advantage, and on top of that, if he stays on board, worst case scenario, I can use him as the target for Shaddoll Fusion to go into Neph. Some decks just can't get over Leo, and then, I mean, Goyo's amazing, and Armades is also really good against a lot of things. Another thing about Goyo is, it's good in the mirror, and it's good against some other decks. It's really good against anything that runs Armageddon Knight, because if you trounce over their Armageddon Knight, it specials to your side of the field, and then you get its effect, you can dump, because it's just when it's summoned. So, like, they're just... Goyo, I mean, I don't need to sit here and convince you guys that Goyo's good. We all know Goyo's good. And then for the XYZs, I run actually 5 Fusions, 5 Synchros, and 5 XYZs. It just kind of worked out like that, but I actually really like how balanced that is. I run 1 Castell, 1 Exiton, and 1 Silent Honors. I wouldn't cut any of these. Castell's good at getting over, like, floodgates. Yeah, anything. Like, it's amazing. I can reset my... It's absolutely disgusting. I wouldn't run 2 Castells and cut the Honor Act, though. It's still nice to have that tank sometimes. I mean, it's close, but the amount I make rank 4s, there's never a time where I've ever been like, damn, I wish I had a second Castell. And then 1 Exiton. I've done some disgusting things with this. I was playing against Mythic Rulers, and he had a Felgran and a Blaster, and I guess this was back when I was running the other build, but with the, I was running the dad build for a while. That was actually really fun, but it wasn't the best. You opened brick too much. But anyway, so I would, like, make Castell, shuffle Blaster back in the deck, and, like, he knew I could go into another rank 4, so he couldn't really stop it, because he knew I was going to eat his Felgrand. So after that, I mean, Blaster was the only E-Dragon he really had access to left, shuffled it back in the deck, he just kind of screwed. So, like, it's just really fucking good. And then I run for the rank 5s, I run a Vulcasaurus and a Pleiades. If I was to cut anything from this extra deck, the first 2-3 things that would be cut are Vulcasaurus, Armades, and Leo. But I'm actually going to... I normally don't do this, but I'm going to show you, like, the honorable mentions for the extra deck, because I've gone through so many different builds of this, and other things that are very viable depending on what you're running main deck. But these would be the first 3 to get cut out. I made Vulcasaurus today for game, but I kind of had game anyways. The only reason I want to keep Vulcasaurus in is because sometimes I use a Beast to overlay, and I can't overlay Beast for Pleiades because you need light monsters. So that's literally the only reason that I would keep Vulcasaurus in. And then Armageddon is good, but you barely ever make him. And Leo is the same thing. He's good, but you barely ever make him. And typically if you're making him, you're already winning the game. And I don't like win more cards. So that's my extra deck. For the honorable mentions, Carnagon's really good and so is Master Key Beetle because they can protect a Midrash. I said I would run, if I was running Emptiness, I wanted to run the Armageddon Knight so that I could make Master Key Beetle more live because the Master Key Beetle Emptiness lock is just too disgusting. But a lot of times I just literally don't want to use my fucking Shaddolls as overlay material because you're just going 2-. And Carnagon's is kind of the same principle. I just don't want to use my Shaddolls to overlay. So, I mean, if I went back to with the Chaos Dragons, the Riven Buster, Clap Serpent, Dad, and Eclipse Wyvern build, which is actually, it's a lot of fun, like I said. OTK is really hard, but it's not as consistent. Then I would probably throw these in. But so those are those. Lavalval Chain, Dialguster, Emerald, same thing. They both great utility cards, really amazing, but like just not in this deck. I'm gonna be completely honest. Every time you would go to make these, you're either winning by a lot or you're extremely desperate. And I want to win by consistently doing good things. I don't want to like kind of luck sack into things or like just have the right scenario come up. This is probably the highest contender in here, Sahemoth. It's really good in the mirror because you can just banish whatever you attack into. It's good at like obviously Midrash because you don't want the Shaddoll Fusions hitting the grave, like your opponent's fusion monsters hitting the grave. And then of course if you're running the Fleece, you run Black Rose. And the other two, Mistworm and Star Eater. Star Eater is really good because if the Shaddoll Core it summons itself as a level 9 monster, so you can just sync that with a Shaddoll with a Falco, and it's pretty much a free Star Eater. Like, you flip Falco, summon one of the monsters, and face on defense, and flip this up, and go into Star Eater. Like, it's gross, but you just don't really have room. I thought about just taking out the Leo for this. Honestly, I'm pretty close to doing it, so we'll see. And then Mistworm's it's disgusting, but once again, like, it just takes so many monsters that you really can't afford to do it. Like, it literally just takes too much of your resource that could be spent other words. And then, I mean, obviously, like, maybe the third Midrash. Can't run a fourth Construct, which kind of sucks, but also, sometimes I tried the Instant Fusion. If I need an Instant Fusion target, Panzer Dragon is by far the best one. It's a light. I mean, it's not very strong, but it's a level 5 light, so you can use it to go into Pleiades. And at worst, when it gets destroyed, you destroy one card on the field. So you can just use Instant Fusion as 1-for-1 removal if you're getting really fucked by a Floodgate, which is something this deck has a lot of trouble getting over is Floodgate. So those are the honorable mentions. Now on to the side deck. Like I said, this is kind of tailored to locals, so obviously this would change if I went to a regional, but it's still pretty solid. This deck has a lot of trouble with Floodgates. I mean, it's no secret, so I've sided the 3rd Ignition and 3 MSTs. I usually don't ever have to side in all of these, but I'm not scared of people's main deck, so I really don't have to side against them. For the most part, I'm more scared of what they're setting in against me. And in a local setting, there's just a lot of rogues. These are just good. I was running Royal Decree, but then I swapped them out for these triple MSTs, and I think I'm actually gonna take out the triple MST, probably take out 2 of the MSTs for 2 Malcats and see how that does. Then I run 2 Super Polys, currently not 3 because it's only really good against the mirror match, which I don't think anyone at my locals also has Shaddolls. Maybe one person. Actually, I think maybe 2 people. But
how many Shaddolls?
Shane has Shaddolls.
Shane doesn't use them.
I mean, this is just because he's not showing up, but people still have them. Like, the opportunity is still there. But Shaddolls and Satellanites, and that's pretty much the only thing those would get started against. There's a lot. I'd say almost half the people there today had Satellanites. But
when did Shane get Shaddolls?
That's why he wouldn't sell me his Midrash.
Oh, you saw him pick it all up?
Yeah. I saw it in his trade binder, yeah.
Yay.
2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors. Should probably be running 3 for the Satellanites. It's actually not that amazing in this build, I'm not going to lie, because I run the Moralltach, but you flip this on, like, Altair, the Wolfbark, or any of their summons, because that's a deck that, like, their entire turn is based on, like, whatever they think their summon's going through, and yes, they can flip Alpha, negate this card, their monster's gone, and then they still get its effect, but, like, they still have to address it, and so
that draw 1, bitch.
It's pretty good. And then I run outside Triple Hands because there used to be a lot of Evil Storms at my locals. It seems like they all switched to Satellanites pretty much, but they're still in there. It's good. They're good against everything. I don't think I sided them in once today. I'm probably going to take out one of each for something else, probably 2 DD Crows off the top of my head, but there's those. And then I would never main deck these, by the way. Like,
they're so bad.
Don't
right
do
now.
it. These are actually not very good. I saw some. Anyone running Satella Knights also don't main deck these. Anyone running Dante, don't main deck these. It's not worth it. They're not that good. Nothing really cares about them, and it just. You should never put something in your deck that makes your actual deck worse just because it's good. Like, it just... No. Like, that's why splashing Soul Charge and the artifacts and everything is not viable. But and then 1 Grand Mole for, I mean, pretty much everything. Like, this card's absolutely disgusting. I love this card right now. I sided in almost every match today. But yeah, so that's it. This is probably pretty close to what I'm going to be taking to regionals. I mean, I know it's a month away, but we'll see. I'll do another update before.
I doubt you'll be taking that deck to that regionals.
What?
Fucking artifacts probably getting hit.
I don't think so.
What are they going to hit on the ban list? Are they just going to not do anything on the ban list? They're probably going to hit the artifacts.
I don't know. That's fine.
It's the only thing from the last format.
If they hit the artifacts, this deck's easily... I mean, what are they going to put Moralltach to 1?
I'm just saying, I can honestly see them not... Like, this build not being able to be played because they hit the artifacts. But that's not a discussion for now. What would you change about the side deck if you took it to a regional, you said?
I don't even fucking... See, I haven't had enough experience in real life dealing against the mirror. I'm not scared of the mirror. I've literally never lost to the mirror online. Mirror matches just in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general are something I'm generally pretty good at. Like, so I'm not really worried about that. But probably just another Super Poly. Honestly, another Super Poly. Maybe another Light Imprisoning Mirror. And then the 2 DD Crows. But that would probably be all I would change. Maybe, unless the Malcats work out instead of the second and third MSTs. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. There's Mr. Tryhard himself. He's got it.
Yeah.
We're there.